Cambridge, scattered from Leicester to the Arctic Circle, in Virginia Water, Alice Springs and Mount Florida. A few chosen and selected people are entitled to wear this gown and nonsense because they've spent 3 years at Cambridge University. I've got no degree and no title, and I've not come to mock. I've not come to Cambridge to share with you the chips on my shoulder. I've come because I want to enjoy what I've never had. And I want you to enjoy with me a few moments in the university city of England at the most beautiful time of the year, when the undergraduates have just finished their exams. Come on.
We're to start again.
No, am I dressed right, though?
No, not at all. You oughtn't to have a suit like that. There ought to be black trousers and a black coat and a white shirt, a bow tie and some bands. I'm afraid you wouldn't be let in like that.
What would happen to me?
You'd be turned out. Well, in fact, your supervisor at college who introduces you wouldn't have brought you like that. He'd have sent you home to get properly dressed. That's right, smile. That looks very nice. Oh, you look very superior.
Not an auspicious start. I must do better. Cambridge can't be all university. Marshals of Jesus Lane own the airport, make Concorde's droop nose. So, not forgetting my bicycle pump, let's have a look at this East Anglian town from the air. The countryside is dull as ditch water. In fact, in Fison's flat fenland it is ditch water. Cement and jam and Lord's Bridge, radio telescopes to listen to voices from outer space. And there's the River Cam of Cambridge, for telecommunications by Pi, who began like Darwin's son Horace making scientific instruments for colleges founded in the 13th century by sadistic medieval kings, for masochistic monks to study and pray celibately in hairy cassocks on drafty corridors. For the winter wind comes straight from the Urals of Russia to this isolated city of 104,000 souls.
It makes you wonder, with all the cleverness in this town, that they've not been able to sort the traffic out, either for the pedestrians or the cars or the cyclists.
They had to get a Manchester University boffin, Parry Lewis, to sort the town out, and then they can't take his advice. So many solutions to every problem. In Cambridge, every cause has a champion, and town and gown together propound delightfully an accompaniment to croquet.
I think the university probably grew up here because this was a good area of communications in the old days, in the 1300s and 1400s. As a result of which the two have grown up together, the city and the university.
Come on, now, sure you go.
I'll be there.
Yes. Have you, they're in the way of your ball, my ball rather.
I think more of Cambridge as it was years ago, thinking of that bypass now. I'm thinking of it as cutting the bridle path, by which Queen Elizabeth I and all her court came riding through the harvest fields in August 1564.
To browse, to dream, to drift. We have hard work.
Well, now I think we go up to the middle.
It's not possible to say whether the university is more important or the town is more important. And I think too much emphasis has been placed on whether the university is more important or whether the city is more important.
I think we're clearly beating them.
We have. I mean, this is just a
Yes, you have one more thought. It's always been a problem to keep good relations between town and what are called town and gown. And my father was mayor, and that's why I'm very glad to be High Steward, because I think it's very important for us to keep in touch with the city and realise that it, so to speak, we each need each other.
I can't take it seriously. Lord Butler, the best Prime Minister we never had. It's as if the clocks all have stopped at different times. I expect to see the White Rabbit scuttle round the corner, or a caucus race, or the Cheshire Cat smiling.
This is the street, most beautiful street, most wonderful people in the world. Now, you can go right down along the street and you can see anything you like to any people but they'll always adore you and they'll love you if you're good to them. So keep smiling. When you're smiling, when you're smiling,
I'm doing this for the guide dogs and the blind, yes. In that time I've raised, as you can see on the board, £3,000 just over. And I do it all myself. I do everything for myself with God's help. That's what makes all my animals and all my cats so pretty, whichever the case might be. All done by us too, isn't that wonderful, eh? But there's a bit too many motor cars about today, you know. They get more and more and more, they do, you see. I can't hardly get by them, but maybe one day we'll have a road full of donkeys. Wouldn't that be nice, eh?
This is what matters most of all to Cambridge. To get this heavy traffic out as quick as we can. It's a lovely city, it's a unique city, and it's being ruined by this big traffic.
When I was a child, you know, my mother used to drive in. I was a farmer's son from Oakington, 5 miles away, and she'd stop the trap in the middle of Trinity Street, send one of the children into Matthew's, the grocer's, and out would come the shopman, and he'd take down her order, standing there in the middle of the street. Then she'd drive on and put up the trap in the Eagle in Bennett Street, do the rest of her shopping, come out, stop again the same place, send a child in, out would come the order all packed up, stowed into the bottom of the pony trap, and she'd drive on out into the country. Those were the days.
Those still are the days. Cambridge colleges, christened from Jesus Christ to Isaac Wolfson, architecturally beautiful, richly, independently endowed. Democratic among its own fellows, each college competes with all the others as fiercely as a regiment. The drafty corridors have gone, carpeted with economists contributing to government think tanks, but looking after their own alma mater first. William Pitt was a Tory Prime Minister, and this is the only club left honouring his name. It's larger than the Cambridge Students' Union, a self-selected set of undergraduates of certain status. The young gentleman stocked the wine cellar and the library, but to cook the sauce and keep the books all tickety-boo, Harborne, the steward.
You really do love this place, Mr. Hunt.
Yes, I do. Very enthusiastic.
What is it about it you love?
Well, it's not necessarily the architecture or the so much as the atmosphere which is here when the members are here and doing what they have to do, lunching and dining and drinking and talking and being merry and enjoying their own company.
And the members are all men?
Yes, yes.
And mostly from famous families?
Well, yes, they are. They're all names. They're all names.
No, I'm not.
Scottish speakers foreign language as well. French alliance. No, no. They don't really matter.
Yeah. All handing out pictures of themselves, you know. Can I autograph mate?
Very important, isn't it? Well, July is such a boring month, and one's really got to go away in July.
If I'm told that was particularly degenerate.
that was the parting gesture.
Some go into publishing, some go into merchant banking, and it's all sorted out very carefully before they go out. And foreign office and that sort of thing.
And they become the leaders of the land.
Of course they do, of course they do. Lots of our current members are have very high ranking governmental positions. Can't mention any names, but there are very important people.
On the other side of the railway tracks, quite literally, live the more ordinary servants, among technical college students who squat for accommodation as best they can, with mums and dads who dress and undress the beds and cobble the shoes of college boys, wait and punish, mash and cook and sew and empty the dustbins. Paul's a dustman who went to Fitzwilliam College and got his degree to work as a dustman and be with his lady Jean B.A., running a not too well endowed community cafe.
Well, you can't really say that any institution is right or wrong, but the fact that the university does owns so much land around here, and the fact that it operates for the benefit of a privileged minority does mean to a certain extent that it has rather repressive effects on the town. And so the university has a lot of control over the fact that there isn't much industry in Cambridge, which means that wage levels are very low, there's very little unionisation, and people are generally kept in a very sort of subservient role to this rather aristocratic setup.
What do the girls reckon behind? Maggie, is it?
About the university? Well, there is a lot, you know, universities here, and I don't think much of them, you know. I mean, I get on with Julie and Paul. I mean, as you know, they were students once, and they've done quite a bit for this Romsey town and for the kids here. And that's all I know, you know.
You wouldn't want the university to go away?
Well, no, because, I mean, the university is Cambridge.
Every year, May balls are held in June to celebrate the end of studies and the start of a 4-month-long vacation. It costs £15 for a double ticket to half a dozen bands and disco and dining in hall, and girls come, not so much from Girton, not a lot from Newnham, but in trainloads from London, and the Cambridge Language Schools, Addenbrooke's, the Teachers' Training College for Girls, the Tech, and perhaps one or two from Lyon's Tea Shop. Some years ago, there was a young waiter who waited on table at Downing. Now he's a Grant boy, an undergraduate reading law, being waited at the very table where once he waited on.
Once upon a time, Alan, your Phil was the waiter.
Oh no, so was I, actually. As long as you meet the right people, it's a great place. But there's so many different sort of social circles that you can get led astray. There's obviously what I call a circle of public school boys, upper public school boys. There's perhaps a circle of grammar school boys, high school boys. But although there are different social spheres and social scales, I think one of the better things about the place is that you can mix so freely with either what you'd term the upper class or the lower class, and you just wouldn't notice a difference. I don't think enough boys from what you loosely term the working class ever get a chance to do it, which is obviously wrong, but this is just part of the system. And I just think the attitude of every person has got to be to let the system work for you rather than against you.
Oh, I am enjoying myself, but I'm not really into any social circle. No wonder the photographer lady told me I'd be turned out. Got to bring me black shoes. And I get so jealous inside me. They're all so clever and witty and elegant. Or rich. I can't tell which. Let the system work for you. And I can't forget how it works for people outside this Alice in Wonderland. Oh, why can't it be like this at a Wigan Labour Club? And I've got a terrible temptation. £15 a double ticket to get me money's worth of the free sparkling wine. Let myself go like a rowdy.
No, pussy. Because I'm dressed up in a monkey suit.
Dinky suit, yeah.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's not real. And you want to burn it all down. I want to burn it all down.
You can't, because it's Cambridge, isn't it?
And you, Michael? You wouldn't want to burn it all down?
Burn all this down?
No.
It's my job.
It's very difficult to tell anybody in Cambridge why someone from the north of England wants to... whatever anybody from the north of England wants to do, but it's...
Tricky.
It's what?
Tricky.
It is tricky, yes.
Layers and layers of trickiness.
And it's because the wanting to overturn the trickiness, and yet it is a very beautiful city,
I know.
isn't it?
Yeah. Lovely.
All the green,
Lots of
all
squares.
the river. Oh, what did I say? I didn't say that, did I? I shouldn't have said that. They wouldn't like it. Not in front of the servants, they wouldn't. I just do not know. It gets odder and odder, and nobody understands what I'm driving at. You can't blame them for liking it, even at 5 o'clock in the morning, with Nobel Prize winners tucked up in bed, and me in this condition. And so much to do with the rest of the day, changing clothes to play a part or play a game. Did you know we've had 5 socialist governments since the war? Grammar schools are to be abolished, yet Eton and Harrow and the great private independent public schools continue, a system where Cambridge colleges automatically reserve places for public schoolboys. 40% public school, this place, and nobody in England seems to mind except me.
14 rooms, bathrooms, toilets. From the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs, what's supposed to be done in 3 hours, you take that. That allows us 10 minutes for a room. I mean, it takes you all that time to make the bed.
How much do you get paid, Betty?
£7.50 now. I think the boys are different in these days to what they were then. Of course, they were money men, they're not like you boys. Nobody was allowed up at college unless they got money behind them.
What about now?
Well, they're all the riff-raff, aren't they?
Now?
Yeah.
What are they now? Betty?
Well, they're anybody, aren't they? I mean, if they can just get past their O-levels or whatever it is they got to come up, they're just grand boys, aren't they? And all my boys are good boys. I won't say anything about that. And I mean, they're very considerable and understanding. But, of course, money talks every time, doesn't it?
I said, bam-bum, tooty-booty, oh, Rudy, tooty-booty, oh,
But most of you riff-raff like me don't make it at all. No chance to rub shoulders with polar science or lateral thinking polymathematicians or the boys from pop. In the college cloisters, mega brains are living in 2007, or else they've stopped their clocks with Don Quixote. And here at the Rex Ballroom, heads have stopped their clocks at 1956.
Is it difficult to get that time?
No, well, that kind of
How did you make yours then?
Me? Well, I got a chunky cord, about a yard. Put the bottom on, you know. Copper wire off a building site. wind it round one of my old gran's knitting needles, you know. Evo stick, stake it on the bottom, you know. Get a badge, solder 2 clips on the back. That's it. You know?
What about your piece?
Cheap enough.
What about your...
This fella is the youngest member of the Ted. He's the youngest. He's the youngest member of our Teddy boy.
He makes mine. He made mine.
Why do some of you have red and some of you have coloured?
Well, that's all the
style, isn't it? You know,
it's your style,
you know, change.
It's your style,
you know, what you fancy. Yeah.
You don't have to all be like you're in evening dress, you know, you don't all have to be the same.
of the hop. When a record is spinning, your calypso like a chicken of the hop. The dance sensation that is sweeping the nation of the hop. You can move it, British on the move it of the hop. When a record is spinning, your calypso like a penguin of the hop. The dance sensation that is sweeping the nation of the hop. Yeah, now let's go to the hop, the hop.
20 Teds are as good as 2,000 students any time. Cambridge rule. We rule. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen to the Teddy Boy roll. Break!
Madrigals after bumps on the rowing river. Cambridge is music. The cockerel consort at this Girton garden party, something for every medieval king or queen. Music and footlights, the Cambridge summertime.
What I do not is chiefly dread of thy presence, and I can say but what I say is evermore. Company we don't see, is brought to by the Lord. Company is glory.
It's a long way to the top of the gasometer in Cambridge, and I don't think I'm going to make it to the top. No wonder 3 years here and you look back on it fondly for the rest of your life in a way you don't from the University of Kent.
I always say to my wife, if we're bored for a moment here, we simply practically go down to the bar and collect a party, and there you are with an interesting talk and also helping people along. After all, we had the Prince of Wales here, and we helped him along. He developed enormously while he was here.
Perhaps we ought to have a lottery to decide who comes to Cambridge University. For I don't like the present system. But if it was all and just decided on brains, the sport and fun would go. A lottery. It must be the answer. Like premium bonds, only everyone is entered and winners get a 3-year Cambridge treat. Here and now, though, as the golden boys of the Pitt Club play an Oxford side, the clock, it could be 1922.
Shake it off. I'm a purist when it comes to champagne. You don't waste any of it apart from a little drop.
No, not too much, I guess.
Thank you.
Yes, come on. No, come on. You've got a bowl.
Is that all right? May I bowl now, please? Right? Thank you.
Bowl.
Johnny, who's burning? Have you got me? Am I burning? All I did it for. I'm coming down with a bottle of booze. We're ready. We must get them up. Charles?
You regret not having gone to Cambridge, or not?
No, not at all. I mean, I suppose, even if I went to
they're as good as each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very lovely town, Cambridge. Even the Teddy boys like it. But because of what Cambridge University is, a buttress of the establishment, I still can't stomach it. But that's my problem. Oliver Cromwell wanted to have the stained glass windows of King's College Chapel pushed in. But John Milton, his secretary, the poet, he said no. But then Milton had been to Cambridge.
night.